Yes, folks, welcome. This is MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris, an absolute pleasure to have you with me here today on my channel. And what kind of action figure stroke collectibles channel would I be if I didn't produce at least one top 5, top 10 list, year in review, you know, because that's the fashionable thing to do around these parts. And my channel in 2023 was about G.I. Joe Classified an awful lot of the time. So here, for your viewing pleasure today, is my top 5 G.I. Joe Classified series figures from 2023, as well as a few top picks from my viewing community. Enjoy! Okay, selection rules and criteria. Very important to establish that before I start waffling on about my top 5. First up, I'm only considering figures that I bought and paid for and received in 2023 as a 2023 release here in the UK. Here is the total list. I'll bring my mic with me. There you go. That's the total list there of everything that I was billed for and had shipped out in 2023. You'll notice that there's some characters on there like Dr. Mindbender and Serpentor that were out for quite a while and in hand overseas before we even saw them here in the UK, but I bought mine through Hasbro Pulse. They build and ship them in 2023, so they've gone under consideration. You'll also notice, like, no Python Patrol in there. I'm not a big fan of the Python Patrol, so I'm only considering those that I own and have kept. Nothing that I've passed along, sold on, anything like that. It's the ones that are in my collection that I play with and enjoy. Had some good hands-on man-child playtime. It's not right, really, is it, to consider a character for a list like this if I don't even own it? And finally, there is no rhyme or reason in terms of selection criteria for the 5 that made it to the list. Sometimes it's just gut instinct where I just feel something for a character that I can't shake off and has therefore popped them on the top 5 list. Sometimes it's about how long I've kept them on my desk, or what I call my desk figure, the one that I play with and use as a fidget toy while doing Teams calls at work. Sometimes it's the ones I like taking pictures of and posing on my light box over there. Sometimes it's ones I like the look of in display. It's completely subjective. The qualifying criteria that I've used to make my decision could be all over the place. There's no consistency to it at all. So don't call me out for it in the comments. Right, let's take a look at the list then, shall we? Number 1. It's Firefly. Yep, absolutely. Firefly version 2 to be specific. I know a lot of folks out there had trouble with the diaphragm cut and some loose joints and some QC issues, but that was not my experience, and I love this figure. Wasn't a big fan of the first version, never picked it up. Really pleased to have a more vintage-inspired Firefly in the collection. The accessory selection just opened up a world of possibility, and I had loads of fun tinkering about and playing about with different poses and displays and stuff. And when I was photographing him and videoing him for my 1-minute showcase, I had a lot of fun with the figure. Is it without flaws? No, it's not without flaws. That little wobbly submachine guns pants, I've swapped mine out for something from, I think from the Viper 3-pack actually is what he's got in hand at the moment on the shelf. But yeah, tons of fun. Love the design. Love just everything about it. I've really enjoyed Firefly. He is coming in at number 5. Number 2 is Scrap Iron. Really enjoyed this figure when I received it, and have continued to enjoy this figure throughout the the remainder of the year since he landed in my collection. I've been getting lots of man-child playtime in with him. I find a whole world of possibility in terms of posing them up and telling little stories with the figure. I must confess, a big part of this decision is the face sculpt. I'm really into the face sculpt. Quite often posing him up, helmet off, tucking it under his arm or on the back of his anti-armor drone. But, you know, the anti-armor drone's awesome as well. Great little touch. Again, something different and exciting just to kind of give that shelf display more depth and variety to it. I love the little missile launching effects and everything as well. They all add to the storytelling. But also he blends in nicely in the right way with the sort of general Cobra uniform colour scheme too. So he's a unique character with his own flavour, but a part of that kind of wider style theme. So sometimes when I swap my little displays out up there and I go for that kind of blue, red, black thing with a Cobra Commander at the front of the army, Scrap Iron just adds a little something else, and I can't articulate it and put my finger on what it is, but I'm really, really into this guy. Head sculpt alone would qualify him for the top 5 as far as I'm concerned.
Number 3
is Rock and Roll, ladies and gents. Yes, I loved this figure when he arrived, and again, he has been a frequent feature in my rotating display at the back there when I'm putting Joes out. He just really sings to me on so many levels. I love the vintage-inspired design, but with a contemporary approach. Again, top quality head sculpt, hand swaps. Characters with hand swaps are always going to go high up the list for me because I think every G.I. Joe should come with hand swaps, and Rock and Rolls has obviously got a lot of storytelling flavour to it there. The weaponry selection is good. The helmet is an excellent fit. It's just got everything I would want and need and hope for from a G.I. Joe Classified Series figure on the Joe's side of the shelf. Plus, it's called Rock and Roll. I'm a rock and roll guy. How could I not include him on the list?
Number 4
is Chuckles, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'll confess, I was a bit sceptical about Chuckles when I saw the digital renders. I was still possibly a little bit sceptical when I came to actually own him and reviewed the figure, mostly driven by my assessment of the price compared to what was coming in the package. You know, this idea of a deluxe figure, and I felt like it was a bit too much, a bit too overpriced for the accessory selection that came in it, and you know, deluxe packaging is meaningless to a guy like me who cracks them open, throws the boxes away anyway. But you know what? I keep going back to him again and again and again. He's out there with the Joes right now. You can't see him, he's right up at the back. But I love the splash of colour that his Hawaiian shirt adds to the line. He's definitely got a nice cheeky flavour to him. He came with hand swaps. And I found myself using a number of his accessories quite a few times for some interesting little photos, like the briefcase, the manila folder, the handcuffs. I used the handcuffs in a display in a tasteful way. He was taken a prisoner, not in... I saw you, Bob. I saw you in your dirty little mind where you went then when I said handcuffs. I'm on to you. I'm on to you. Get your head out the gutter. Come on. The brass knuckles, fists, you know, there's fun stuff you can do with that. It's just fun. I've found him to be a very fun character to man-child play with, to man-child display with. I took some really fun photos with him back when he first arrived, but he keeps coming out the box, keeps coming out onto the shelf and added to a Joe display when I'm putting that out. And yeah, what more is there to say? It's Chuckles, man. Plus, I've got a soft spot for the character. I've got a real soft spot for the character from his interpretation in the IDW continuity line. So it works on many levels for me. So they are Chuckles, number 2.
Number 5.
Oh, drum roll, please. It's Ripper, a very new addition to the collection, but this guy has won me over in a big, big way. I have enjoyed this figure greatly, and when it comes to criteria like how often am I playing with it, how often am I posing it up, how often am I using it in my photos, how often am I putting him out on display, then Ripper is king. He really has just kind of flew out the gate and really blown me away. The head sculpt, the accessory selection, the modern interpretation of the character, I really enjoy. For someone who goes on about wanting contemporary-looking, vintage-inspired characters, Ripper's got quite a modernised flavour to him, but it sings to me. Really love it, really enjoy it. I find him very visually appealing in that respect. Loads of lovely little extra bits and bobs on there, like the glass eye, the removable glass. Just tons going on with Ripper that I found extremely, extremely enjoyable. Really lifts that little kind of space there with the dreadnoughts. In fact, of everybody, I'm finding Zartan the most bland and boring now. I think I might pick up... I'm half considering picking up the retro one just to get that bit of blue in there, because he's looking really dour in amongst like Zorana and Ripper and Buzzer. Also, Ripper, expectations game. Buzzer was a little bit disappointing. I felt like he was a bit rough around the edges and they missed a few marks with him. And so Ripper coming along, perhaps my expectations were a bit lower and therefore, they were leapt over quite capably by Lenny and the design team with what they put together with Ripper. Just really, really enjoyable character, really enjoyable figure, and very, very pleased and happy to say he's my number 1 this year.
Community picks.
So there's my list, folks, but we're not done there, because do you know what? This channel is nothing without the wonderful MoDXtra Games and Collectibles viewing community that has grown around it over this last year. I'm really, really thankful, very grateful for all the encouragement and support that a number of you watching this video right now has given the channel, regularly commenting, regularly watching the videos, interacting with me on Discord. Just really enjoy the community feel that is growing around this stuff, especially the G.I. Joe Classified Series stuff. And I think a lot of you hang around this channel for the G.I. Joe Classified Series stuff. So to that end, I reached out onto the Discord, the G.I. Joe Classified Series Discord group that I belong to, and said, does anyone want to contribute just a little 1-minute clip or something? Let me know what your top pick from G.I. Joe Classified Series in 2023 was. And a handful of folks did. They sent a video back in. So here, for your viewing pleasure, not just had my top 5, but here's some top picks from some top blokes that I love hanging around with online, who are cherished members of the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles viewing community. Let's take a look.
What's up, Chris and fans of Chris? I'm Tweakweed from the G.I. Joe Classified Discord server. I am friends with Chris there. You should come check us out. We could be friends too. And my figure of the year, my Joe of the year, is Ted Williams. Now, General Hawk looks a lot like Ted Williams when he served for our country. That's the kind of vibe he gives me. I just think it's incredible. It's an incredible figure, from paint applications to face sculpt to the kit. I think his kit is perfect. His loadout is perfect. Not too much, not too little. It's my figure of the year. I'm excluding Chuckles. I'm a big Chuckles fan, huge Chuckles bias, but I'm excluding Chuckles because just no Comic-Con stuff. Yeah. Happy holidays to everybody. Thank you, Chris, and come check us out on the Discord server.
It was an amazing year for G.I. Joe. I started collecting in the holidays last year, and thought I'd just pick up a couple of my favorites, just as I was kind of exploring the classified line. Now I've got 60 or 70 figures, trying to find room for more. So looking back over the year, trying to pick a favorite was a tough choice, but as I thought about which ones I played with the most, it came down to Tiger Force Outback. This was a kind of a surprising pickup for me. When I initially saw him, I couldn't even remember who this Joe was. But, you know, the collector's bug hit me. I picked him up, started playing with him, absolutely fell in love with the detail on his face. Maybe it's just the white beard, who knows, but really liked him. He comes with great accessories. You know, he's got a flashlight, shovel on his backpack. He's got knife, pistol, and a good gun, and you know, just the whole aesthetic of being a survivalist outdoors was super fun. Playing with him with other Tiger Force guys, sent him up with other teams of Joes, doing, you know, jungles, forest type things in my imagination, setting traps for cobras. Lots of fun with this guy. Really good figure. Super excited to have him this year, and excited to see what comes in 2024.
Hey, Chris. All right. So my top pick for 2023 is Chuckles. Yeah. It's one of my favorite figures from as a kid. I love the fact that they stuck with the 1987 OG look, with the Hawaiian shirt and the green pants and the shoulder holster. Yeah, I remember me and my friends was fighting over him because he looked so cool. The fact that they went ahead and gave him all those accessories, the extra beat up head, can't beat it. Number 1 pick. All right.
With G.I. Joe, the one thing I know me and Lenny definitely have in common is that every one of these characters ended up being my all-time favorite figure to play with growing up. For 2023, I'm definitely in love with this retro Cobra Commander. He's my favorite character in the cartoon series, and even though I haven't been able to open this one up, I can still hear that iconic Christopher Collins Lotta voice screaming out of this package. I love the entire G.I. Joe line, but I think the retro has definitely knocked it out of the park.
Hey Chris, hey everybody else. It's Sherlock here with my top Joe of 2023. I picked Rock and Roll. After much debate and going back through the list of the many figures we got this past year, this guy was at the top. Just kept going back to him with his detailing, his tattoos, the extra hands. He came out above the rest for me. But I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody else thinks. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
Hi, my name is Daryl, also known as Merciless Fan D, and after a lot of internal struggle and back and forth, I've finally selected a few of my favorite Joes as my favorites for this year. I'm sure that'll change again as soon as I've posted this video. But here they are. For the Joes, I went with Shockwave, Desert Snake Eyes, and Hawk. And for the Cobra side, Ripper, Range Vipers, and Classic Firefly are the, in my opinion, my favorites, best in the line, at least until I change it again. Thanks.
And so there we go then, folks. There's my little G.I. Joe Classified Series 2023 top 5, plus some guest stars sharing their top picks as well. I invite you to get into conversation in the comments down below to talk about these picks. Are my choices controversial? Are my choices predictable? Are my choices in line with what you're seeing round and about? I don't tend to watch other people's videos that are on similar themes to mine until after I've recorded my own. So have I chosen stuff that everybody's picking? Am I, consistent with the community group think around this stuff, or have I missed a figure that I should have been considering that I haven't considered? All that goes. Anyway, whatever. You just get into the comments down below and have a chat with me. As long as you're not rude and insulting, I'm happy to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, once again, thank you so very much to everyone who comes and hangs around these parts regularly. I just really, really appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, if you don't hang around here a lot, well, welcome. I hope you come back again soon. We do all sorts of stuff around here in MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. But here's to a great 2024. I think Classified is going to have a very bright future for the next 12 months, if not a costly future for the next 12 months. So I think we'll have lots more G.I. Joe Classified stuff to look at and talk about here on the channel in this next year, and I hope you come along with me. Right, that's it. I'm done. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you around these parts again sometime soon. Take it easy.